Well,
Don't bash Todd.
people may want to curse at you or talk to you. Let me move this out of the way. Hey, folks, thanks for sticking around after the Jersey Jack presentation. That was really good. Everybody loves their games, and we're really happy they're coming out so well. I wish this had a longer stalk, but here we go. Is yours one too?
Testing.
Good. We're all working. This is a last-minute presentation. I wasn't going to come first, and then we had some opportunities that opened, so I asked them if they had any openings, and they said we have one last slot at 9 o'clock on Saturday night. I said, it's kind of late, but a lot of you stuck around and stayed. So we're going to try to keep it so it's over at 10 so you can get back to playing pinball. If you want, at the end of the show, we will be selling COVID masks for $5. Nobody wants them anymore. I also have some beanie hats, embroidered logo. These are 20. And then, of course, we have our usual poster signed by everybody on the staff. And then, if you really want to annoy your spouse, I mean, really piss them off, him or her, you can get one of my goofy pictures. So we'll have them available. Also have them at the autograph session.
What pictures aren't goofy, Todd?
Everything involving my face is goofy. It was nice shaking everybody's hand today, too. It was great. I walked around, I take 2 steps, and somebody else said hello, and it was really great to see all of you. And you got to say, after all these years, with all of you in this room have the bug. I picked up the bug, but not when I got in the business. When I got in the business, I got in it to make money. That's why most people did. And pinball machines were not designed for you. They were designed to make money for the operator who bought them, and he didn't give a crap about the game. And a lot of you, when you get an operator's game and you see it's just demolished and ruined, they didn't take care of it because they didn't care about the game. They really didn't. So I'll start the show. We're going to check our sound level. We always have to have an opening title. This was all thrown together at the last minute, but let's see. Yeah, there we go. And we have all of our people here, Frank, John, and Steve, but Steve is sitting back in the see, we gotta come up, Steven. Steven he's volunteered and helped me at TNT when we had all these issues, and so have John and Crystal, his beautiful wife. They hang out too, and they're unpaid, so it's kind of nice. We went too far. I was supposed to hit the start button, but I didn't. See, this will show me. Anyway, this is an early commercial when I first went on the air.
Classic pinball can be played in your home. It takes just one visit to TNT Amusements. We sell reconditioned arcade-sized pinball machines, video games, and
$4.99, folks.
All of our equipment goes through a comprehensive 51-point checklist. And remember, whatever you buy, you can trade in later. We guarantee that in writing. So try it before you buy it. Visit our huge showroom in Southampton.
We're in the Yellow Pages under Amusements.
It was actually in 26 Yellow Pages books back then. My wife and my brother were in that spot. There's another one here. Now, these go back to like 1990, 91, 92, 93. There's
Remember
different
Defender?
spots.
How about Asteroids? Or Millipede? What about Tempest? TNT Amusements has many classic video games, and unlike the home versions, arcade games have high-quality audio and
That's
video.
my brother and
along with
wife.
a full-size control panel so you can feel the fun. All of our equipment goes through a comprehensive 51-point checklist to ensure factory standards.
There's me.
And remember, whatever you buy, you can trade in later for another game. Visit our showroom in Southampton, TNT Amusements.
We're in the Yellow Pages under Amusements.
I stopped taking American Express. That was my big change. So I found this old tape, so I figured it would be kind of fun to run this. This is VHS, of course.
Ever thought of owning your own jukebox? TNT Amusements has all styles plus the latest CD versions. How about renting classic jukeboxes or pinball machines for your next private or corporate party instead of a DJ? You can even rent our maze-like showroom
You see
where
all
all
these
the games
favorites.
play
Our
free.
showroom was
No
packed.
fussing with tokens or coins. It's great for birthday parties, schools,
It was the
daycare
Swords
centers,
of
and
Fun.
camps. We have several
I think
party
you
plans to
spotted
choose
that.
from. Stop in today. TNT Amusements.
We're in the yellow pages under amusements.
And yes, we were. We're not in it anymore. But back in the old days, that's how it was. It was just really amazing stuff. It was painted darker, and then we have stuff all over the place. I'm not sure which this next one is. These were tape I dug up out of the blue. I'll find out in a second. The laptop doesn't like this. Come on.
What an expert.
Okay, this is when I proposed marriage on a lights, camera, action in 1989. And that's John Norris's game. It's a great game. I actually have one in the shop that we're reconditioning. And I put "Will You Marry Me" on the arms, the guns, as they raised up. And I had the ring in the coin return. I also presented it at an arcade that wasn't ours, and we didn't mention to anybody that we owned TNT Amusements because I didn't want my wife saying, "You proposed to get advertising for me." You know, I didn't want her to come up with that, and you guys will all know that's what happened.
To say about the
So this is the
personality.
spot.
And from Don Pollock's world, where you
Oh, actually,
if you're looking
that's
for
coming.
your very own pinball machine. Those stories plus
This is 1989. I'm getting confused.
All
right. All right, so this spot here, I didn't actually preview this enough. This is an Action News spot. As a matter of fact, the man you just saw is retiring, Jim Garner, 30 years later. Yeah, 30 years, I guess. Don Pollock was a local TV newsman, and he came out to TNT to do a special take, and it was run at the end of the news, 11:25. And we got tons of response from this, but this will give you a shot of what our place looked like in 1989. And this showed us the power of television because we had tons of sales.
Richmond. Don Tollefson has highlights. Dave Roberts, the late word from AccuWeather. And we have a report from Don Pollock's world when Action News continues tonight. Or Stu, because
in and of itself, it's probably one of the most pointless endeavors ever devised by mankind. A steel ball bearing being made to roll and bounce amidst rubber and plastic obstacles, but nonetheless an activity that's compelling enough to be the focus of a unique Delaware Valley business. For the past 2 years, Todd Tuckey has operated the equivalent of a used car showroom for pinball machines, from which he also sells used video games and just about every other variety of coin-operated bandit that sucks up spare change at the corner tavern or arcade.
This is the place to come when you're tired of putting quarters in at the arcade. You can do it in your own basement and save.
A prospect that leads many to the Southampton showroom of his TNT amusement company.
When people come through the door, I just let them go. I turn all the games on, and I come in and say, "Hi, everything's on free play." Well, I'm
My
supposed to
beard.
go through. Most of the people
And I
that
was
come
thin.
in buy something. And once they buy one game, then I got them hooked.
Not surprising, considering they're able to try their hand at anything from an antique penny fortune machine dating back to 1901 to a modern-day hybrid electronic baseball game. All of them, it turns out, victims of the ever-changing popularity trends in games at the area arcades he supplies.
These are not bad games. They're just not played
Kurt's
anymore.
still
Right
with me.
now,
That
our
was
pinball
Kurt.
sales are very high. The people are buying it for a fraction of the price. This game here, brand new, was $2,500, $2,600, and we're selling it for $500.
Enabling enthusiasts to indulge
You heard we were selling this one for $500.
in the comfort and privacy of their basement rec room.
There's a core of video games that are our hot sellers.
Turn the volume up, please.
Pac-Man, Defender, Asteroids, and Stargate.
Leading to the option for the die-hard gamester of having one in every room of the house, which, in combination with the company's liberal trade-in policy to acquire new and different games, could turn an occasional recreational pastime into an obsessive and all-consuming passion. This is Don Pollock at Channel 6 Action News in Southampton.
Nightline next on Channel 6 Action News continues at 6 a.m. with Monica Malpass and at noon with Chris White.
Monica
Robin
Malpass
Garrison,
is
Aaron
still
Martin.
there.
Now for Dave Roberts, Don Tollefson,
30 years
the entire
later.
Action News team. I'm
Actually,
Jim Gray. Have a
32.
good night tonight.
The Atlantic City Show.
Okay. Nope. was it. I think that was it on that. Let me find the next clip here. Nope, wait a minute. Nope, I have to go before this. Here we are. I wanted to show you, I realize the screen is hard to see. And where's the papers that were on the desk? That were here. See, these are supposed to be stills, but I thought you might want to see. Came up with a brochure that we actually mailed out when we ran the TV show. This is from 1991, and I thought this may fascinate you. All the games you see listed, you can see the green letters. I know you can't read prices from there, but this gives you an idea the inventory we had back then. Starting at the top, 720 was $16.99, and of course back then in 91 it was pretty new. But if you go down the list, Asteroids $3.99, Baby Pac-Man was $4.99. I made the note Pin Video, but we had so many games in stock, and of course the cocktail table games, we had a whole bunch of them. There were no multicades back then. And then mini games, we didn't call them cabarets back then, but that's in the lower right corner. I don't know if you remember Astro Fighter, $4.99. The Donkey Kong was $4.99 too. So there's different prices. The cockpit games, you could see the TX1, that 3-screen game. Now, I know you guys are pinball fans, so I'll show you the pinball list here. The pinball list, Alien Star in the top left is $6.99. And if you go down through the list, I had an Attila the Hun for $5.99. Not many people wanted it, but we had it available. But Caveman was $8.99. Cleopatra, $4.99. Chicago Cubs, $8.99. That's what they were selling for back then. But look at all the games we had. It was just tons of pinballs. Pinbot did fetch $16.99 because in 91, he was only 5 years old. But a lot of favorites that you see, like Party Animal, that was $15.99, and we have a Party Animal that's been changed into a wonderful new game in the showroom. What was it? Right out of my head. It wasn't Ferris Bueller, but it was somebody. There it is, Billy Madison. Oh God, how could I forget? I saw that earlier today. But anyway, things change. But if you think about it, I think I was the first person to, in fact, make a full-time business out of selling games. Because this is all we did, 7 days a week, sold games from the showroom. And over the years, these games did fetch, we sold almost 30,000 machines. I think we just crossed over 30,000 to over 13,000 people. That's a lot of games. We introduced a lot of games to people. I think Pinbot was my best-selling pinball because we sold at least 160 of them. And different ones, not the same one over and over, because we eliminate one when we trade it in. So it was, and that's, of course, that's one of my top 5 games. We came up with coupons. We found out they didn't work too well, but we, this is what we did to, because there was no internet, remember. So we did mailings, we did the TV show. I was on 7 days a week at midnight in I guess like over a state and a half area, in the general area, within a 60-mile radius. I was on every channel because after midnight, the rate was cheap. You could get an area, run a whole hour for $7. That's you could be on TV for $7, but that's from midnight to 5 a.m. So I bought midnight to 1, 7 days a week for years. And we ran this show over and over again. I still have people coming in now, our party room, and got involved. Now, on stage here, Frank got involved. How did you start?
I just walked in and asked for a job.
Get the microphone closer to your mouth.
Oh, thanks.
And Johnny, what was your first purchase?
My first purchase was Fire by Williams.
A Fire? Okay. Not the Champagne edition, though, huh?
No.
Fire was one of the games Williams closed out. They weren't super cheap, but they were $19.99. And I bought 4 brand new Fires for $19.99. It was about $500 less than the retail.
Were you asking how I got started with games or how I got started at TNT? Oh, the first game was a Miss Pac-Man. Well, I always wanted to have a game in my house, but my wife had a Miss Pac-Man that didn't work. And so I got it in my house, and I tinkered with it a bit, and then somebody told me about this TNT place, and then I came and asked you to help me fix it, and you were a total dick to me about it.
Yeah, I was.
So that's when I decided to come in and get a job and be an asshole to you for the next 22 years.
Yeah, yeah. But see, a lot of people, I found out a lot of people, maybe in this room, got involved with video games first, and then they made the transfer to video games. I see a lot of heads nodding. That seemed to be what happened. The twins, Timmy and Tommy, got involved with video games, and then they switched over to pins. And of course, we do have video games here because, let's face it, your game room has both in it. But I would say the majority of the people in the room are very much into pinball, primarily. And we tolerate video games. We do. Let me scan ahead, and I had some other stuff. I prepared some fun stuff. I have a couple of people always liked our nutty letter stuff. And, oh, come on. I thought I had the wedding on this. It may not have gotten on the stick. Once again, I didn't have much time to prepare. I would rather have done a PowerPoint. That's the future, isn't it, Frank?
Sure.
Okay, anyway, I had to share with you this one ignoramus eBay sale. I advertised a flyer, U.S. Billiards pool table. I've got about 1,000 auctions up at all times. I have 4 of them, and it was listed for $2.99, and I made them an offer of $2.50. And if you read the bottom, he says, you can read what he responded. He thought the $2.50 offer was awesome, but he wasn't happy with that $4 shipping to send it to Ohio. He just thought that was unreasonable. So
It was not me, Todd. I may be from Ohio, but it was not me.
I thought you were having fun with me, so I responded with this. What I did is I posted the pictures in and made a video that you can see. Here's the response. So I realize you can't read it. Sadly, the new yellow large envelope I use costs 10 cents. I cut cardboard to slide into the envelope, which takes time. First class shipping to you is $3.76, and eBay takes 15% of the total for themselves. This leaves a huge balance for me for perhaps $1.50 for my time and energy, not counting the value of the flyer, so I guess the price is way too high. I am planning on having a 75% off sale soon and free shipping. I will send you a notice when we have the sale. He didn't pick up the sarcasm, did he? Did he? Great, thank you. That's what he said. So, see, people just constantly annoy me. I sold a Cyclone parts manual on eBay 2 days ago for $11.99, or a week ago because I shipped them. $11.99. I had 6 of them. It was my last one. And the back cover was torn. And he was raging. He was outraged and I said, he wanted me to send him another. Yeah, I'm going to sit there and pack up another $12 manual and send it out when everybody else wants 20. So I responded and says, I'm sorry, but that's the last one. And you can send it back and I'll give you a refund. And I don't want a refund, but I want a discount. And so, if you get into eBay sales, that's what happens. It's a lot of fun people. Do you sell on eBay? Frank does. Frank sells his battery boards on eBay. Do you have similar aggravating problems?
No.
Oh.
Sell Rip's manuals advertised as good.
Well, I found this on eBay. Professional techs first talking pin. And it's a Gorgar, and a super popular Gorgar by Williams, $34.99. And this was just on, I guess, last week. It's only $600 to ship it to your door. And then when I looked at the pictures, I saw this. Do you see it? Right there. That is my old sticker. So I sold this 25, maybe as long as 30 years ago, and the sticker still is stuck to that control panel. I wonder if he even vacuumed it. I sort of wonder, doesn't anybody want to take the sticker off when they resell it? So I'm worried that I'll get phone calls about fixing it. What did you do with this? And I said, I haven't seen it in 30 years. So I wondered, people started sending me pictures of seeing my stickers on games. I don't use those stickers anymore. I stopped using them. Instead, I'm saving up to buy this bargain, a $10,000 Elton John. And here's the best thing about this ad on eBay. There's that single picture. Doesn't that picture just speak the world of this game? I mean, wow, what a great, I can't take one more picture. One picture's enough for 10,000.
I can't turn on the light switch so you can see it.
Look, I have it turned on. Isn't that good enough? Now, who in their correct form of brainage would buy a thing like that? Oh, God, there's no bids, and that's the starting bid. We'll have to check back on that seller. Yes, we're all familiar with these crazy sales because that's what we all grew up with. We saw this stuff coming and going. And I'm not sure what the next clip is, as I said, but it's coming. It's playing. This. Now, I want you to turn the volume up so they can hear the words. I found the perfect clip of, imagine me as David Tomlinson, okay? And Dean Jones is one of my purchasers that has come into my showroom.
I'm James. You're no doubt aware that this is the celebrated Thorndike special. And allow me to say, sir, that I think this car would suit you very well.
Yes, it would.
May I offer you a glass of sherry and a biscuit?
I'm showing him a Willy Wonka.
Go right ahead.
I take it that the question of price does not greatly concern a gentleman like yourself.
Oh, I wouldn't haggle, if that's what you mean.
What price range did you have in mind?
About $75.
$75.
I could go 80 in a pinch. What do you have in the way of cheap, honest transportation?
Cheap, honest transportation. I will bid you good day, sir.
Well, Frank, was that me?
Yep.
Cheap, honest transportation. Cheap pinball machine. The people will come in the front and say, "What do you have for $100?" And I say, "Well, I have this picture of a pinball on the wall, but I want $200 for that." You know, it's like
Maybe one used leg.
Well, but you can find bargains, guys. You all know that. You know, people throw the games out. People throw pinball machines out. You've all had great deals come your way, and we have too. We have. So you know, things come and go. But when you get a customer like that,
must be done delicately.
We are sorry. Yeah, I know what that was. Wait a minute. I forgot about the lead-in on that. See, I spoil my own talk. Okay. I got this email after we did a broadcast from somebody who was obviously upset. Was having so much fun watching your videos and ready to buy a game from you. Thought you were a decent company. Then I saw your hillbilly twins sending out Trump love, and I was sadly disappointed. I'm done with you guys. and will have to let all of my other pinball enthusiasts know not to deal with your company ever. And it was signed Matt and Alex Tapicott or something. Okay, that was sent to us October of 2020. So I came up with this response. We are sorry to see you go.
Actually, not really.
Wait a minute.
That's what viewers would.
I thought of a great way to say goodbye. You could see us at the bottom. And Brother Rob will be returning. So a lot of people asked, is he coming back? So he's coming back very shortly. We lost one of my employees for 42 years, Robbie. It was another guy, I used to call him Bald. And he left TNT from 2004 and came back right when COVID hit. So he's been working for me for 2 years. But he did spend the first 20 years with me. And he passed away bowling, doing what he did best. We're sorry to see Robbie go. But Brother Rob has said he's going to return and fill in the gap. So I still have a Robbie. I'll have a Robbie back. And this is a response. They called my twins Hillbilly Twins. So I'm going to run you this clip. This is from one of our best offer sales. You're welcome to join them. We're doing them every month now. We're not doing them. We used to do them every week during COVID when we were desperate. And Jillian on the front row came up, Jillian, hand up, wrote this wonderful program. You can see the auction information on the left side. And by running it on her special program she wrote for us, we're able to sell a lot of this garbage. It's great stuff. And this was a Tommy Pinball Mylar we were selling,
now,
used with some issues.
According to this, were we doing Tommy next? Tommy Mylar?
Yep.
I know. What were we doing?
We actually got a bid right away for 100.
Oh, you changed it? We have a change. We have a bidding change. What's this?
People are bidding on the Tommy thing right now.
Roller disco. Why is a beautiful roller disco covered by these horrific? No, wait a minute. That's mine. That's mine. You put my poster. You can't. Ow! My poster.
Now, I don't consider that hillbilly, do you? No, we missed our boys. They were lots of fun, and we were sorry they couldn't make it today. They were really trying hard to come to the show tonight, so that's where we have a couple empty seats, but I left that clip in. They volunteered for years, for 2 years, right, Frank? Yeah. They came up and worked for free. I fed them. I would rent a room at the local the really nice hotel up the street. Dump. It wasn't a dump. It was a Motel 6. Oh, well. Yeah, they changed it to a Motel 5. It went down one step. But we're sorry they couldn't be with us, but they were a big assistance. And Steve is too. Did Steven duck out already? No, he passed out. Steven, you can't be sleeping during my... Oh, man. They help out a lot. You know, Steven has a huge collection of Gottlieb pins. Over 200, right, Steve? Solid states. 250, okay. So he's Mr. Gottlieb, but he's still missing a couple. He just picked up a TX sector, TX, for 1,500. Good deal, Steven. And it works.
Does
Great
it have a
game.
TNT sticker on it? That's why it works.
Oh, Frank, you keep tearing me apart. I have one last thing, I believe. Let me see what it is. Yes, tomorrow, because I think we're running out of time. What time is it?
9:40.
9:40, okay. Tomorrow, I am going to try to win a Twippy. So we prepared a video because I'm probably not going to win it. So this is the video that I'll present to you now, showing me not winning it. It may need the volume turned up. Oh, here we are.
Got Jungle Lord here.
Todd, look, you got a box from Texas.
I won the Twippy.
Nice.
Finally.
Well, it says Arcade 1-Up on it, so I doubt you wanted a Twippy.
Well, yeah, but I must have won something good. It does a trophy. It is my fragile. Look, I won.
You win.
Yes, finally.
Yeah, they took good care of that.
Finally. And it's animated. What does it say? 5 years of consecutive losses. Again! I lost again!
They don't like you.
Who did you give the award to? The guy that made one video that's 3 minutes long? Or did you... Who won? Now, look, come over here. Look, I got a participation trophy in 2020, and then I got a lost again in 2019. I mean, what is... Do you understand that I had 137 live streams in 2021? Not 10 or 3. I had 285 hours of streaming, and then I had 75 hours of editing videos.
Why is the camera like it's an earthquake?
Well, you got that.
You put a lot of people to sleep with your videos. A lot of people got a lot of rest.
You're the new Johnny Carson. He falls asleep to you. Poor Toddy.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
I won't get it again. Now, who will get it this year? Who will get it? 5 years in a row, losses. What? I won a pinball, yes. I did win that at Pinball Expo, which was very nice. Well, yes. I mean, Canada got 5 of them. That creep. Oh. See, he's somewhere in here. Oh, well. Anyway. But anyway, well, of course, you know. Is this year my year? Well, we'll see tomorrow night. I hope you're all going to watch. I am going to wear my little sticker that says, "Will I win this year?" Will I? No.
Stickers go a long way.
They do. They go a long way, don't they?
Everyone loves stickers.
Did any of you have any questions? Because I know they want us to end by 10. Any general questions about videos? Yes, go ahead. The Sea Wolf Saga. A lot of you, I don't know, have most of you heard the Sea Wolf Part 1 and 2? Yes, it was an answering machine recording that I kept from the 87. And I have Part 3. The problem is Part 1 was 6 minutes, Part 2 was 8 minutes, Part 3 was almost 75 minutes. So I can't release it as a full tape, it's just too long. But I was going to cut it apart and do it, but I have hours of video I haven't put up yet. There's just no time. Sales right now are booming. They're absolutely booming. And people are buying games used and new. As soon as we roll them in, they come out. The video games are, I hate to say it, but multicades is the big thing for us now. But what our difference is that we're putting them in original cabinets, class of 81s. We're making harnesses. Frank does them, does a beautiful job because they're new cords. They're not outlet strips screwed into the bottom. But he grounds them. We run ground wires throughout the machine, and so they look like they're professionally made. And we got to get John to buy one. Will you ever buy one from me?
I just may.
He's not bought a single game from me, not yet. Anyway, so not sure about Part 3 yet. Maybe one day. I thought of releasing part of it as Part 3, and then coming back and doing the next part. The beginning is where he calls me, and I actually recorded him over the line. I think it's outside the statute of limitations because it was recorded in '88, I guess. But he wants to come and play the Sea Wolf in my showroom. And I said he wanted to come right then and there. And I said, well, you can't come now because I have a private birthday party, with kids. And so you can't come now. And he says, oh, no, they won't bother me. And I said, well, no, you're going to bother them. That's what private party was, just completely clueless. So that may happen. Any other questions? Go ahead. 2 questions. I couldn't hear that. Oh, Everett, my yodeler. Oh, I got a lot of heat for that. Oh, man. Yeah, well, everybody's volunteered to come and pick stuff up. I throw a lot of stuff out, but nobody, the games we threw off the roof, back then, nobody wanted them, because they were damaged. The Last Action Hero we got from a homeowner, and he had 3 cats, and the glass on the playfield had shattered years ago. He vacuumed it up, but his cats made a home on top of it. And it was a litter box, and it was stinking of cat piss. So you really couldn't resurrect that for a private home. The Mario Andretti I threw off the roof was in a fire. So when you opened it up, the boards inside were actually melted. You couldn't see it because I threw it off the roof. And the Bad Girls, well, that needed to get thrown off the roof. And the Street Fighter too. But at the time we had so many Street Fighters. As a matter of fact, Steven bought, 2 years ago you bought 6 Street Fighters, right? Well, I think we went off. Did our screen go off? I have one more clip. Oh no, we're okay. It just went in the downside.
Now buzz off!
There's our end. We always have to put the end credits on. There weren't any more questions, were there? I think they wanted us out.
Todd, can you share the story quickly about your customer years ago that were buying used control panels to just pretend that they were playing a game?
Yeah, we could end on that. So we have a Texas. We did a live video today that you can see now on the channel. And today I'm going to upload tonight in the hotel room the videos I shot today. So you'll be able to see them. So otherwise that'll restart. He's talking about the old days before the internet. We had people that would ring our doorbell and want to buy parts. And I had at the time brand new marquees and control panel overlays for dozens of games. They were thrown out by Eastern distributors. And the dumpster was full of all this stuff. So we did 2 or 3 van loads. I only had a van at the time, and harvested all this stuff. So we had new overlays for Chiller and Space Duel. And these are factory overlays, Tempest, and they were beautiful and brand new marquees that they had on the shelf because the kids would break the marquee and then you'd buy a new one. The distributor would have a new marquee. So this guy started coming in, he wanted to buy them, and he would spend $300 every Friday on control panel overlays and marquees. So he'd say, he'd look at my list and he said, I'll take the Space Duel marquee and control panel. I'll take the Chiller marquee and the control panel. Or no, it wasn't Chiller, it's Crossbow now. But every week he'd spend about $300. And back then I was charging like $25 for the marquee, even though they were new, and maybe $50 for the overlay. And this went on, honest to God, it went on for 6 or 7 weeks, $300, always just in and out. And I finally made the big mistake of finally saying to him, wow, what a great collection of games you have. You have all these games, and you said, and you're putting them on, you're making your games look like new. And he says, no, I don't own any games. I live in an apartment. So I blinked my eyes, and if this was a video, I'd put in the eye blink sound effects. I said, what what are you doing with them? And he says, oh, when I come home from work, I put the marquee on my kitchen table, and then I put the control panel overlay in front of it, and I sit down, and then I move my hands around and visualize I'm playing the game. So I sat there just blinking. So I'm waiting, and nothing happened. So then I said, oh. And I think my my shocked look, because I'm visualizing what he's really doing this, I guess he got upset and he never came back again. So I queered that deal by responding that way. I can't believe I did that. So there goes my $300 steady income. But I kept a lot of those marquees and overlays, and we ended up using them after all. So that was pretty good. Thank you for that memory. You remembered that story.
You're welcome. It's a great one.
It's not a pinball one, but it's a video game one.
True.
A lot of video games and pins. You know, remember back then we were buying, we had a local company called Stan Harris, and he would have games in his ready line, and he loved Gottlieb. He was directly getting the games from Gottlieb, not through any distributor. And he would get all the samples. So he had Kubert's Quest, and he had a couple other rare ones, Striker, Punk. He always got 2 to 5 of them, and he would test them for Gottlieb. So we would end up getting a lot of his games. And his idea of the ready line, he put fresh rubber or cleaned it. He would take the rubbers and throw them in bleach and get them white again. And you reuse the old rubbers over and over. And the games looked clean, but the playfields got so worn out because he was making a fortune with these. So what he would do is he'd wrap the heads to the body with a steel band and the legs. And that was his ready line. Can you imagine the steel band cutting into the paint on these games? It was just horrific. But they were cheap. He said they're $200 a piece. So you could buy Amazon Hunt and Ice Fever and Spider-Man and, as he called it, Panaterra, which I just love that, Panaterra, you know. And all these games, $200 each. And we were cleaning them up, as you saw on the list, the pricing. We were getting anywhere from $4.99 to $7.99, $8.99 for them. And now we're getting some of those back, and people are saying, oh, you didn't do a very good job overhauling this. I said, well, you know, we didn't do anything. We changed the bulbs that were out and changed the rubbers that were out, but we didn't paint it. In some cases we did. We spatter painted them, didn't we?
If the paint was really bad. You always know if you have a Stan Harris game if the instruction card is typed.
Yes.
And there's also a little piece of plexiglass, usually on the left side of the cabinet, where they could put a level on it, set the height, and be done.
Yep.
They always have the leveling and then
a lot of old stories, I guess, will...
Pricing and instruction cards is a dead giveaway.
Yeah, well, there were some dead giveaways, especially if a lot of you are regular viewers of the channel. I guess you wouldn't be here. Well, that's good. I'm glad you're all watching. And we have fun still doing the videos. We're just so involved, and I'm at the shop now 7 days a week, and frequently from until midnight or 1 a.m. if you see the videos, we always show the clock. Unless we go to Applebee's, right? I was
going to say, if you get out before Applebee's closes, yeah. That's an early night.
Well, that's good. But things are still the status quo. You all see the prices have gone through the roof. I attribute all the pricing changes to the banning auction in California. I guess you all realize that too. That's when everything went nuts. And I think I may have mentioned it before. I had arranged for a tractor trailer. I was going to try to buy, I could get 46 machines in a tractor trailer through Beltman, Precision Moving and Storage, also known as Beltman. And they were going to deliver them for $8,300. So I had everything worked out. Tractor trailer, $8,300, 46 games. It was $110 for them to wrap the pinball machine. And then there was an 18% buyer's premium. So I'm thinking, well, if I buy the close encounters for $600, okay, then I have 18% on that. So what's that? That's about $100, I guess, something like that, and then 100 and a quarter, 110 to wrap it, and then it would work out. The 8300 worked out to like $210 shipping per machine. Then I'll have about $1,000 into the Close Encounters, and I can do it. So I'm watching the auction like all of you did, and the Close Encounters was $3,200 plus 18%. Oh man. Every single game I had, but I said that. There's so many games, I put all these bids in, and the first bid was above what I bid. So I mean, it was like crazy prices. And so I didn't need that tractor trailer. I didn't end up getting any. Did anybody here buy a banning auction machine? What did you get? Which one? Cosmotrons. Oh. Did you get a good deal on it? Okay. Plus 18%. Okay, well, there we have one person that made a purchase at the banning auction. But boy, oh boy, those prices were crazy. Did you notice that 2 weeks later the Stern prices went up? So... yeah, so we had to change our prices. Even though they were in the building, we couldn't sell them at that price anymore. So everything changed. The world changed. The banning auction changed the pricing of everything. The pinball machines were going crazy already, but they went insane after that. Now, I don't see any change. I just, yesterday we sold a Gilligan's Island for $7,000. And guy walked in, it was in the showroom for an hour, and boom, out. Now, it hasn't been shopped yet. It'll be our full job. We sold 25 years ago. And it was a buyback. They were moving to Florida. I have a big customer base of games where people will call us and sell us the stuff back. That's been the only way to get it because, as you know, everybody else has done their research. I'm Google smart. I know what this is worth. My fishtails is worth $6,000. I said, well, it doesn't work. It's got cabinet fade and battery leakage. I said, if you put it, you advertise it for $6,000, you'll have a line around the block and back to people waiting to give you $6,000 for this machine. So, but, that's what we're all dealing with. Nothing's changed much, right?
I have a question for both Todd and Frank. Over the years, you've purchased machines, some were trade-ins, some were just, are you interested in this? And I know you've seen a lot of home fixes where someone has bought that game, only owned that game, it sat in their basement for 20 plus years, and they didn't know where to get parts or have somebody come out and do service, so they take it upon themselves to, keep their game going. Can both of you share some of the wacky things that you've seen happen to these games that you've came in?
Well, probably all of you have experienced them too. Jumper wires that they didn't need when the original wire was still good. People run jumper wires trying to fix the problem when the problem's on the board or someplace else. So what about anything stand out for you?
Recently I had a Back to the Future that didn't work in the power supply. If you know data used to pinball machines, the fuse clips always break. You got to check them. So to fix the coil fuse, they wedged a piece of a pencil. I actually have pictures of it. I'll put it up later. Wedged between the two clips to hold tension so the fuse would make contact so the game would work. That was the Back to the Future I went to fix like 2 weeks ago.
A good repair for the time.
Yeah, that's...
you notice the knocker coils are usually missing from games you get traded in because they needed the coil for a pop bumper. So it's like, wow, here's a free coil. Do any of you remember when Data East used to give you a box of spare parts in the bottom? Yes, you got targets, you got coils, backstops, you got all these spare parts in a box, and they actually screwed it to the bottom. So if any of you ever open up a game and you find this cardboard box screwed to the bottom of your cabinet, it's actually the factory. It's not a big one, about this big, but that was rather interesting. I have a video up of the Data East factory where you can see Simpsons being assembled back in '89. And I think in one point the playfield's up and you can see the box on the bottom. That was one of the first ones.
Is that the video with the checkpoints up on the shelf
checkpoints,
before they came out with checkpoint? Yeah.
Also, it has some Barry, of course, Barry Osler. We lost him. It was very upsetting. But I had actually, he was my hero back then, so I had filmed him getting his award for a Cyclone back in '89. So I believe that's going to be featured in a video coming up too. But I was filming it just for me. There was no YouTube. There was no publishing of the video. It was just for my own. But I was glad I did it because I did the other tour. Any other questions? Because I think they want to close. Go ahead. Most of them are gone. I sold most of the cabarets. I had 100 cabarets into different cabaret video games. I've sold the Monaco GP we just did, I think was number 79. So I have about 21 left. Pardon? I kept them because they didn't work or something. It was. I have a few more of those little moppets. I haven't gotten to them. I've got so many games. It's you kind of, I don't want to try to sell it unless it's complete. So, but I have about 21 left to sell. They'll eventually go. Anybody else? Yes. Not that recent, no. Everything we're getting back. The Gilligan's Island, for instance, I sold 24 years ago. It's all, people are moving, usually. A couple divorces. Frank, do you remember that one fiasco? We went to the house, and the wife was selling her ex-husband's pinball machines. And they were nice machines, Theater of Magic and Addams Family, and we picked them up. It was a great deal, and when they went to get them, she hung a noose in the house, in the foyer. She says, "That's for my husband when he comes back and he sees his precious pinball machines gone." Ooh. Remember that? Oh. Ooh. And he was furious. So I got a call from his lawyer. He says, this purchase wasn't allowed, and they went on and on. So I had to keep the games. I couldn't touch them for 2 months. If he could come up with the money to buy them back, I think, what was it, $28,000 or something, plus the moving costs. I said, well, you're going to have to pay moving costs. I said $4,000 and storage. So he had to come up with that 28 and the 4,000. He never did. So that was the end of that. And then we had to wait 2 months before we could sell the games. But that was a horror story. I don't think I ever told that one before. Can you imagine coming home? My precious collection is gone, all gone. I wonder if he used the noose. That must have not been.
Or the dryer hose.
Yeah, or the dryer hose. That's a frequent joke. I said,
How about the barbed wire that was the movers took a sledgehammer to, the home use only one?
Yeah, we sold a barbed wire. I bought brand new. That was closed out, as we all know. And then a Playboy 35th anniversary to two people lived in a little row house in Philly. And they said, we lost the house, and the bank is taking it over, and we want to sell the games back. So I said, well, I think the barbed wire, I charged them $2,500 brand new. And so I said, I'll give you $1,000 cash for the barbed wire and $800 cash for the Playboy. And we'll take it. So we drove over there, and she met us there, only to find that the barbed wire, the recyclers had gotten to it. And what they did is they tore the head off, okay? And then they took the whole wiring harness out. They cut it out, right off the playfield, off of all the parts. They didn't unplug anything. Everything was cut out just to get the wires. I mean, what? It was just, It was awful. It was really awful. But, I mean, we still ended up getting the game, but, we got brand new logic board set, the displays, everything else was there, but you could never fix it because the wires were not there. All the wiring was gone, and that's a lot of wire. They didn't touch the Playboy yet, though, so we did get that. So that was an unhappy situation. But you see everything now. You get to the house, and they tell you there's no steps, and they forgot about, the fact that the steps are not wide enough to bring the game up, so you have to take it down into small pieces. This is when we buy games. The people say they got games in their house or whatever. So we have them take pictures of the entranceways now.
You've had customers over the years contact you about a game, and then you show up and it's not the game that they said that they had, correct?
Well, I think a lot of you saw that video where the guy said he had in his warehouse, he had a Lord of the Rings. Yes, Lord of the Rings. It was Lord of the Rings. And then Batman, and then a Pole Position, and Hoops. Yes, a Hoops. So we showed up, and they, in fact, were games I sold, except the Batman. But they were in a warehouse where everything fell apart. When you just touched the games, they broke into pieces. We have a really neat video. The Lord of the Rings turned out to be Road Kings. So Lord of the Rings, Road Kings. And so I said to the guy, I said, you said Lord of the Rings. Yeah, well, Kings is there, No, nothing even matches up. I mean, but we ended up buying them for pennies because they were just parts at that point. You got the ramps off, but everything fell apart. I've never seen stuff decompose like that so much.
How about when your guys, you sent them out to pick up an Evel Knievel and they came home with the home one, and Scotty's like, oh, well, I did think it was kind of light. And
I didn't even think of that.
For this piece
I didn't even think of that. Oh, my God, I got this Evel Knievel. I'm thinking, oh, well, what did I end up getting clobbered on that? I
thought you gave it back to him, or you gave him you got money back from him. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I told him I'd give him $800 for it, and they come back with a home Evel Knievel, the little Bally one. And I said to the guys, what were you thinking? I wondered why you paid him $800 for this. And I said, are you crazy? I said, did you call me? Just pick up call me on your cell phone. So I called the guy back, and he says, yeah, I thought it was too much. So I got $400 back. So I ended up paying $400 for a Bally Evel Knievel that didn't work. But so sometimes you get a bad deal here and there. But
well, your guys should have known better.
I should fire them. But nobody wants to work, right? They don't. Anybody else? Wallace, well, he's 84 now. But when he left with COVID, when COVID started, he was 82, and he was falling asleep. I fall asleep and I'm 66, so he was ready for Wallace. But he did come back once. We have a video showing him coming back. And we said, why don't you come back one day a week? And he said, maybe. So, but yeah, he's moved on. He was with us 20 years. And Kurt's my longest now. Robbie and Kurt were my longest employees at 42, 43 years. But anybody else? Bullet holes? Our truck's been shot at. We've had bullet holes in the truck from the gun range next door.
And the wall.
When the wall failed. Their stupid wall failed. And they were, I guess, head high if Jonathan was in the back.
It was on a Sunday. And I've stood out in the back, and I'd hear the guns going off. I'm like, gee, I wonder if a bullet would ever come through there. And sure enough, a couple months later, 2 did.
Well, there are a total of 15 bullet holes in the wall across from TNT. 2 of them went through the truck. And so the wall was breached. So when they tell you these gun ranges are bulletproof, they may not be. Wow. Well, he must have broken the glass. It didn't break the glass? So it wasn't tempered. The back glass wasn't tempered. The police. Wow.
That sounds like an easy fix.
Yeah. It is collectible with the more mistakes than ever. You know, that guy is so stupid.
Collects dust.
My publisher told me, my book originally had lots of QR codes in it. So when I talked about a game, you would get a QR code, you'd put the book down, you'd put your phone over the QR code, and it would take you to the exact moment in my video that I was talking about the game or whatever. So it was full of QR codes. And I got an email, I saved it too. He says, my team have talked about it, and we feel the QR codes are out, and nobody will ever use them. Aha, wow, was he wrong? Yes, nobody uses
look
QR.
around the game room, and you'll see Q codes all over the place.
And this is probably the first public time, I'll tell you. Volume 1, there's 12 pages of micro pinballs where he takes a blow-up of a playfield and he blows up the picture, and you're trying to guess what the game was. This was his idea, which was a good idea. And then there's a key in the back, so if you can't recognize the game, you go in the back and look at the key. However, in Volume 1, they're all 12 pages are called Mirco playfield. Not Micro, Mirco, which of course is a manufacturer too. So anyway, that was one of the hundreds of corrections I had for the book, because it was absolutely the worst listing I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything with so many errors. And he cut my sentences off. He left out paragraphs, stuff out of order. It was a mess. So anyway, then he fired me from my own book series. So, yeah. But I had to make fun of it because I figured we'll fix it in issue 2. But, but anyway, Volume 2 he printed on his own, and it's still Mirco pinballs. Yeah, it is. What time? Oh, 15 over, okay. And I wonder, I haven't seen Volume 3, so somebody has to look at Volume 3 and see if he still has it mislabeled. So, but his wonderful game's coming out, The Punny Factory. So soon you'll be able to play his new pinball machine. I wonder how many spelling errors will be in that. I don't know. Anyway, The Pinball Adventures. Well, I would say my book is probably collectible from just sheer gross errors. There's more errors than ever before. But thank you very much for coming tonight, folks. Appreciate all of you coming. And my small but effective paddle. If any of you will be at the autograph session too at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. And we'll also have the masks. If anybody wants them, anybody wants a signed poster. All the employees sign the posters, and then we also have the hats. And of course, I have free cards if you want free cards. So you're welcome to come up now if you want. The posters are 10. The photograph is 10. The masks are 5. I have to get rid of these. Maybe another COVID-20 will come and you'll need it. So, but thanks for coming again, folks. I appreciate it. There we go.
Frank also has cards. He's the one to sign.
Yes, Frank has cards he can sign too. Did you bring them, right? Okay, you have them.
I have a few of them, yeah.
Good. I got this one here. You want me to sign your name at the top? To Mike. Do you want me to say something funny? No. Yep. What?